In this Kuntao system, we have a blueprint or a map for our different angles of attack or our different types of movements. And this map gives us an underlying foundation and a blueprint that makes the overall techniques cohesive and versatile. So the idea behind it is kind of like if you were to build a house. If you're building a house, ideally you want a good foundation. From that foundation, you could build that house out to whatever you want, right? But if I start sticking posts in the ground and laying I don't know, part of a foundation here and part there, and I build a porch over here and I build a wall and, half of a house over here, in the end, I don't know if that house is going to stand up. I don't know if it's going to last. I don't know if the porch is going to fall off. I don't know if the wall is going to fall down. The reason is I don't have an underlying blueprint from which to work. And what we want to do in any good system is we want to have that blueprint or that map so that we can plug in our different experiences, in this case our different strikes, and we're going to deal primarily with hand strikes because that's where we're at right now. And from that, it gives me a sense of understanding so that I can actually take my art deeper. I can understand it and use it on a deeper level, and after I get past the foundational stages of the strikes, stance work, footwork, etc., then I can start to explore on my own. So in a lot of Indonesian and Filipino systems, they use the symbol of the asterisk, and that's what we're going to use too. So an asterisk, if you don't know what it is, it's a vertical line and a horizontal line. So that makes up our cardinal angles, or what looks like a plus sign. And then it also has a downward angle, 45 degrees one way and 45 degrees the other way, which looks like the symbol of an X, or the letter X. And if you superimpose those two on each other, you get an asterisk. So when looking at an asterisk, what you'll notice is there's a center point and there's lines that come out at all angles. So if these angles represent all the different ways we can attack, if you look at the outside of that, it makes a full circle. So this is really noteworthy. This is important to take into account. And the reason for that is that this means if I learn how to do a particular strike and I plug it into this, it means potentially I could do that strike at any of those angles. Not every strike, but I can take one technique, and if it means that I can really use those angles, I've got a level of versatility that you may not find in a lot of other arts. So, for example, let's talk about a hammer fist or a chop of some sort. And actually, to understand this even better, let's take that whole asterisk and let's split it right down through the center. And the reason for that is if I'm standing with one foot forward or one side forward like this, ideally, because of my body mechanics, it's better to understand it as a forehand and a backhand. So what I mean by this is that if I'm swinging a tennis racket, if I'm swinging from this side, it would be forehand, and from this side, backhand. Because that's just the kind of the way the body works. So if I've got this side forward, this is my forehand side, this is my backhand side over here. So, like we use in stick work, blade work, we're just applying this metaphor of playing tennis. So if I'm taking this hammer fist or this chop here, and I'm learning it just at the forehand angle here, conceivably I could also learn it at the backhand angle, coming back. And if I learn the footwork with it, rotating one way, I then would understand I'd rotate the other way. Now, if I plug it in the asterisk, that gives me a lot more versatility. So now my forehand angle here also becomes my forehand angle here, downward 45-degree angle, straight over the top, right? Coming upward at a 45-degree angle, coming from underneath, upward, vertically, right? My backhand angles, right? Again, coming down from overhead and then moving off to 45-degree angle downward backhand, horizontal backhand, upward backhand. So what we did is we took one technique and just with the basic concept of the footwork and rotation and how the body moves as a unit, and then that map of the asterisk for the direction or the angles that the hand can actually attack or hit, that center point being usually the spot that we're going to be hitting, the center of the asterisk, we were able to take one technique and create a lot of versatility in a very, very short period of time. So this is the beauty of this art, that we take something simple and we can extrapolate, we can expand on it so that one movement becomes a dozen other movements. So that from something simple, we get versatility. And that's really what we want, because I don't know where I'm going to be in space when somebody comes up to attack me. I don't know if this hand's going to be down here or up here or over here. But if it's, say for instance here, I want to know I've got this angle to hit here. By the same token, you know, if it's here, I want to know that I can hit down very soundly. If it's here, I want to know that, boom, I can hit up. And that I can link together. Over time, I can start to learn how to link together the different angles so that I can switch. And what that means is I'm switching both from backhand to forehand and also angle. And what this does is it creates a lot of overwhelm for the person on the receiving end of these strikes. And if they don't know where the attack's coming from, they easily get overwhelmed. The other thing about the nervous system to note is that if the nervous system gets stimulated in two spots within a short period of time, that's about all it can take in. So what does that mean? It means if I'm coming here, and then I'm coming here, and immediately shooting here, that third strike, my nervous system, the person on the receiving end can't take it in. Nervous system is already overloaded. So we start to link 3, 4, 5 strikes together, and what we have is, from our entry, we have those different strikes, and we basically have finished the fight. You know, given the fact that we're dealing with a normal individual. So you can see the versatility of this model. And the other thing to keep in mind is that not just hand strikes here, but also elbow strikes, if we're dealing with upper body striking, they also fit into that. So my horizontal, both forehand and backhand, 45-degree angle one way, 45-degree angle the other way, vertical, switching angles, right? Putting it together then with the hand strikes, so then we can do what's called compressing and expanding. So when the distance changes between me and the opponent, I might be going from an elbow strike, and as they step back, be going into a hand strike. Or if they're coming in and the space is getting compressed and forced into a smaller distance, I can go from that hand strike easily into that elbow strike. And then as they start to move back, hit them again with the hand strike. So we start to double up on our strikes, and it gives us timing and distance to play with as well. So I hope that was a good understanding and a good overview for you of why we use this asterisk and where you can potentially go with it.